Thank you for watching this ag forecast for the Northeast. I'm Andrew Pritchard, Senior Meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. I'm starting you off with a map of 24-hour temperature change across the lower 48, and we are quite a bit cooler here across the Northeast. Temperatures anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees cooler than they were just 24 hours ago at this time. But if you look back toward the west, we're already starting to warm up across parts of the Midwest, the Dakotas, into northern Minnesota and Wisconsin, some 30 to 40 degrees warmer than they were 24 hours ago at this time. So here's a look at the temperatures then at 6 o'clock on this Tuesday morning. 30s and 40s across the Northeast, 50s and 60s back across parts of the Great Lakes into parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the Dakotas. And that air will be moving back in our direction as we start to warm up heading into the middle part of the week, with another shot of cooler air coming as we get into the weekend. Now to the satellite picture here on this Tuesday morning, we've got Sally across the Gulf Coast. Will be making landfall likely as a Category 2 hurricane later on today into tonight, but sunny skies for much of the Northeast as we head into the later part of our Tuesday. It'll likely be a hazy sunshine. If you look up later on today, we're looking at a forecast of smoke coverage from the wildfires out toward the west. A lot of the smoke that was hanging out across the Pacific Northwest over the weekend is now being blown to the east by the jet stream winds, the upper level jet stream winds. I was out yesterday taking a walk with my family and snapped this photo looking at the sun right around lunchtime. And again, no clouds in the forecast across central Illinois where I live. This was entirely wildfire smoke caught up in the jet stream. So here's a look at the satellite animation across the Midwest yesterday. And again, our office, where I live, where I was walking yesterday, right here, Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, right across east central Illinois, caught right in that plume of wildfire smoke, which again is going to be making its way into the Northeast, continuing to make its way into the Northeast, already has been there. I'm sure you probably may have even noticed it yesterday. But as we look at the cross-section here, I got some questions about air quality issues in the Midwest and the Northeast as a result of the wildfire smoke, and the answer to that is that it's not nearly felt like it is in the Pacific Northwest. We're looking at a cross-section here of the high-resolution rapid refresh smoke forecast along 45 degrees north, which roughly runs from Oregon to Wisconsin into northern Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. And so as we look at the smoke here going from west to east, it's now down near the surface across the Pacific Northwest. This is where they're having all kinds of severe air quality issues and, of course, the actual fires themselves. But as you head eastward into the Midwest and into the Northeast, now the smoke is located anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 feet above our heads. So again, this is something that's blocking out some of the sunshine, adding some haze to the skies, turning our sunsets much more deep red, and certainly reducing some of the solar energy that we're getting, but the air quality impact is not what it is out toward the west, where they're talking about dangerously poor air quality issues. Again, not talking about that across the Midwest or the Northeast. So we look at the radar picture, quiet from the Midwest into the Northeast. We've got Sally off across the Gulf Coast, and then some light showers making their way across the Pacific Northwest. That is fantastic news in that area. We're hoping to bring some additional rainfall into parts of the Washington, Oregon, and Northern California coast as we head deeper into the end of the week and the weekend. Again, here's the forecast for Sally, making landfall later on today into tonight as a Category 2 hurricane, before slowly meandering off to the north and then curving off to the east across the states of Alabama into Georgia, and then South Carolina as we get into Friday night and Saturday. A look at the precipitation forecast over the next 7 days, and again, pretty much everything concentrated across the southeast from Sally, and then some of that rainfall across the Pacific Northwest. This is wonderful news, but as you look from the Midwest into the Northeast, not talking about much in the way of organized precipitation at all. As we look at the hazards map from the National Weather Service, I was going to say to the northwest, we've got the air quality issues and the fire weather risk. Across the Gulf Coast, that's what we're talking about, tropical impacts there from Hurricane Sally. And then in the Northeast, we do have some freeze and frost advisories in place where we've got some of those sub-freezing temperatures. No severe weather to talk about in the Northeast today, tomorrow, or Sunday. We'll be talking about just a localized severe weather threat with Hurricane Sally there across parts of the Gulf Coast. Now, as we head into the mid and late part of the week, we're going to be watching this wave right here that I just clicked away from. Let's go ahead and bring this back. Sometimes it is just so finicky with the clicking there. This one right here. We've already got this broad trough, let me change the color, elongated from kind of across all of Canada. But it's this wave right here that's going to send kind of a reinforcing shot right there. And you see that wave really intensify right here from the Canadian Prairie into eastern Canada, this is going to be the one that drags another shot of cool, dry air into the northeast, sending our temperatures back down and keeping us on the drier end. So you look at those temperature anomalies, we'll again see this wave of cooler air that's situated over us now push off to the east. We're going to warm up quickly as we head into Wednesday and Thursday, again turning back into or transitioning back into warmer than average temperatures before this next shot of cool air rotates around the base of that trough. Here it comes blasting in as we get into the weekend. So we'll be cooler than average as we head into the weekend. We may start to warm back up as we head into the late part of the month of September, but really looking at that cool air mass setting up over the weekend and then lingering into the beginning of next week. Now, as far as precipitation goes, we're going to be bringing this front in and taking it into an already relatively dry air mass. So here comes this shot of cool and dry air as we get into the weekend. Our cold front comes in here Thursday. Not the weekend. And as we get into Wednesday night into Thursday. But you see, as the front's moving in, we're not running into, deep tropical moisture like this, the deep orange shading. No, instead we're already bringing it into a relatively dry air mass with dew points in the 50s to maybe close to 60 degrees. So that's why we don't generate much in the way of shower and thunderstorm activity as this front comes through as we get into the end of the week. We'll look at the precipitation forecast then as we head into the end of the week. You can see the front start making its way in. Here comes the first little lead wave of low pressure Wednesday that's going to take precipitation north of our area. And then here comes the front kind of late Wednesday night across the north. And then really during the day on Thursday is when this front's going to move across the northeast. And you see the European model trying to squeeze a little bit of moisture out of there, but again, I would be surprised if we see much in the way of measurable precipitation with the frontal passage on Thursday. Sally going to be curving off to the east, not making its way into the northeast region. Maybe a little light precipitation felt across far southern Pennsylvania on Friday night into Saturday morning, but largely a miss here as high pressure builds in across the northeast as we get into the end of the week. That's going to be forcing Sally off to the south. So just straight from the European operational model, the next 5 days of precipitation. Again, the European model trying to squeeze out a trace to a few hundredths of an inch of precipitation along with that Thursday frontal passage. I'd be surprised if we see that. Even if we add in the next 3 days following that, so now we're looking at the next 7 days of precipitation from the European model. Nothing on the heels of that Thursday frontal boundary is going to be producing much in the way of measurable precipitation across the northeast. So really, looking at a dry week across the northeast. The temperature trend is going to be cooler. We'll see a push of warmer air during the day tomorrow. We'll look at the temperature forecast here to just wrap this video up. 60s for just about everyone today except far western Pennsylvania into New Jersey. You could see a high right around 70. Warmer for the day on Wednesday, but that'll be short-lived. Cooler air moves in Thursday into Friday. We'll be looking at a cool weekend with sub-freezing temperatures once again possible across the northern half of the area.